Jaffe! Yeah. Up next, steer clear of lava. Sharp drop-offs. She's the most fun in the world, Marisha Ray! And finally, the man whose brain spawned all of this weirdness, Matthew Mercer. Yeah.
Oh, hi. So adjusting our chairs for the whole
Yeah,
panel.
we're just going to be doing a lot of...
These are awkward
Okay,
chairs.
yeah. Very awkward chairs.
Okay.
Your money's worth.
Yeah.
Well, we decided that we're just going to do a Q&A for the hour. So line up in an orderly fashion and...
Orderly.
Orderly.
Calmly,
Lifeguard
respectfully
rules,
walk.
no running, concrete is slippery.
A couple of guidelines really fast if
Yeah.
we can. Try to just do one question so we can get through as many as possible. And then we're not able to do selfies or anything like that because of the rules. And the distance, the sheer distance. But yeah, we're gonna try and get through as many as we can. So let's do it.
There we are.
Please
So,
tell us your name before
this
your
is-
question too, so we can know who you are and put a name with that beautiful, beautiful face.
Hello? Is this on?
Oh, we getting some audio on that mic, if we don't mind.
Hello?
Yep.
And then we'll probably need that up here in this speaker.
Just keep saying random things until it makes noise.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Hello.
Well,
A little bit more, a little bit
bit
louder.
more.
can we get that in the wedge so we can hear the question?
Oh.
Could you count down for us? 10 to 1.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, count down in the microphone
Count.
for us.
Yeah.
10, 9, 8,
We got it.
7.
All right,
Good.
thank you.
Awesome. There we go.
I love
Hello.
it.
I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Willing
Hello.
to walk the line for us. I love it.
Thank you. So, all right, my question is kind of for the three players and Matt. So when you're planning more story arcs and sort of character directions for all the different characters, like the Derolo arc that Percy had to go to, do you discuss that with them beforehand to make sure it's okay with them as, like, you know, their player, or do you just kind of surprise them with it?
I mean, when the characters create their backstories and such, I let them. They'll ask me some semblance of the world and, you know, locations and stuff, and I'll give them some places they can pull from, and then they create from there. And so, background elements, that's mainly their creation, and then I incorporate and tweak things as it goes. But as far as things that are coming up in the story, no, I want to surprise them as the character would know. I mean, if it's something that I feel needs to be a discussion, like I don't want to, if I feel it'll deter or alter heavily a direction they want to go with the character, then maybe I'll be like, hey, how do you feel about, you know, me tweaking with something that you had already established? But generally, I want the character to experience it with the player and vice versa. So that kind of really came to fruition with the Briarwood arc. So
Yeah, I gave you about a page. Everything on Whitestone and everything with Percy fits on about a page of relatively small type. It was nothing that he wouldn't have already known. There was no information on that page that Percy didn't know, like nothing he didn't witness himself. He didn't know who the Briarwoods were. He didn't know what was happening. He didn't know even, I left it pretty open whether or not the dream was a real dream or a demon or whatever. There was none of that information. And at one point, I'm like, I have a couple notes of things I just want to add, and your response was, well, I would get your shit together pretty quick. Was all I was really given. I'm like, okay.
yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the whole Orthax, the whole smoke demon, that was not converted. It was just like a dream of some dark entity that inspired him with this. Everything else just kind of extrapolated from there.
It could have been just a dream. That would have been interesting if it had just been a dream and not really a thing. And it was just him being a terrible person. That's great.
All right, thank you so much. Oh,
Thanks, Alex.
sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good question. Which, by the way, just out of curiosity, raise your hand if you've not seen any Critical Role or have any idea what it is. I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
You're going to be so confused this entire panel. It's going to
This
be
is
great.
not about Scientology.
Yeah.
Just to let you guys know. If you're
But
not
so
familiar.
you're aware, Critical Role is a Twitch stream where a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors, present company included, play Dungeons & Dragons once a week. And so this is our D&D game where we roll dice and get really geeky. Sponsored by the Red Bull in my stomach. Hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Quinn and Bidet.
Hello, Bidet.
Beep, beep.
My question is, has there ever been a moment where the players went completely off the rails?
Let's go on a pub crawl. Woo!
I was going to say every Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, part of your roles as
Let's jump off a cliff.
a DM or GM is you're trying to ascertain the probable direction they'll take and prepare for that, and then try and prepare for a couple of alternate scenarios. And sometimes they'll shoot close to one of those, and you can kind of tailor some ideas to make it work. Sometimes they end up going directly where you thought they were going, and you're like, yes. And then sometimes they'll go a complete 180, and you're having to fly by the seat of your pants.
Fireplane.
There are there are a number of times that happened. Let's see.
Fireplane was a big one. I remember you were almost irritated at the fireplane. You were borderline irritated.
Well, I wasn't irritated. I was like, all right, this is where we're going. I'm never irritated by it.
We spent weeks telling you we weren't going.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, you're like, well, we're not going there. We're not going there. We're going there. And I'm like, okay. Guess we're going there. Yeah, I mean, the whole intro sequence, them arriving at the City of Brass, the meeting of Senekir as an NPC, that was all improvised. That whole sequence,
That is
I had
crazy.
nothing prepared because I didn't think they were going to go there. And I had the semblance of kind of some things they might encounter in that area, but I hadn't fleshed it out fully yet. So yeah, it happens often, more often than you'd think.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, Hi,
Yeah.
my name is Gilly.
Hi, Gilly.
Hey.
Hi,
Welcome
Gilly.
to MomoCon.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thanks.
So I have a question for our voice actors. Of all the characters you have voiced, major, minor, side characters, is there any one of those that you would play in a campaign and why?
Huh.
Oh.
That's an interesting thought.
My answer is cheap. I don't have.
What's your answer?
Well, I'm such a superhero nerd, and I'm such a Flash nerd, and I would love to do a superhero. I used to play Champions, and I loved.
Oh, yeah.
I built speedsters and Champions all the time. I loved playing speedsters, and yeah, so that's easy.
Margaret
Flash.
from Persona would be cool because she
Yeah.
like uses the tarot cards and
That'd be pretty rad,
she's
actually.
pretty badass and powerful, and yeah, she'd be awesome. She can like fly.
I'd say probably Kuritsugu Emiya from Fate Zero. Because he's a combination of like really awesome, powerful, rifleman and assassin type character, but has some powerful self-altering magics, and just like an interesting disposition and moral quandary about his character. So he'd be a fun one to roleplay, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's
Good
a great
question.
question.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey, it's William. It's been a while since I see you.
Good to see you, man. Yeah.
So start off with a fun question from the last episode. There were a lot of people in chat debating how that fight was going to go and who was going to come out on top. So going into it, who did you guys think was going to win, and what were some abilities or items that you were thinking might come up that didn't?
Okay, and let's preface this because some people may not have seen the Battle Royale on Thursday. Let's try not to spoil things necessarily.
Spoiler alert.
We'll try. So,
It's hard not to spoil things.
okay, then do what you will.
Cover it.
They knew what they were getting into when they showed up at this panel.
Yeah, the spoilers are happening.
I mean, Talks Machina is usually about the last episode.
Right.
So.
That's
True enough.
That's
Typically.
fair.
I think everyone thought I was going to win.
Yeah, my money was on you.
Yeah, and I think Grog and I are actually going to have a rematch because there were a few technical errors that we both made. In an alternate reality, Grog is at the bottom of the water plane, drowning right now.
Why don't we just
furiously
tell him?
pulling out
Why don't we just tell him what
cards.
we're gonna do?
Yeah,
Why don't we just tell him what we're gonna do?
Huh?
Tell him what we're gonna do, Matt.
You want to tell him?
Tell him, Matt.
Yeah. Okay, so I think on an episode of Talks Machina, maybe here, probably pretty soon.
Yeah.
We're going to do a WWE style one-on-one. I kind of want to make like wrestling like closet cosplay versions
Yes.
of our characters' outfits.
Yes.
You know, like
Yes.
I don't know, find some sort of like green unitard to come out in.
Yeah.
I'll probably wear a tuxedo and be like, "Are you
Yeah,
ready?"
and then
Well, that's
Brian's gonna be-
copyrighted. I can't.
I'll come dressed as Paul Bearer and be like, "None of you's going to die."
I already talked with Sean Becker. I think we're gonna do some like promo, like WWE style promos leading up to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Like,
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's gonna be
Grog
fun.
versus Keyleth.
Yeah.
One night only.
I feel like we knew it was the Grog and Keyleth were gonna be the two heavy people going head
Throw
to head.
down in Taldore.
Yeah,
We could put it
yeah.
on pay-per-view. Well, that's kind of what Alpha is, I guess.
Yeah.
And the second half of that, were there any abilities or items that you were thinking might come up that didn't in the fight?
That's a good question.
Percy.
I rolled so
Just
badly.
all of Percy.
I rolled so badly.
Yeah.
I know.
Everything like
I was kind of disappointed because like
I was just
you want a
staring. I was
fair
like,
fight.
I rolled 3 1s, 2 2s, and only I think 2 rolls over 10
Yeah.
the entire game.
It's
I'm like,
bad.
well, nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, well, everything's broken, nothing's working. I'm paced. Like that's just what happens. But
Yeah. With and the thing is with you as well, more like you and Grog both have the highest probability of taking down a single person in one round of combat.
Yes.
But you from anywhere on the map, and between bad news and like a well-rolled violent shot, you could probably kill any member of the party except for Grog in one hit.
I'll actually say, and also for people who are asking, Percy doesn't carry the contract with him. Like, I know about the contract. I know a lot of people are like, why didn't you pull it? Like, that would have not Percy would not have done that. And he doesn't carry it because he doesn't even want the temptation. That thing is locked away. That thing is locked far away.
And that's fine. You don't have to have it on you to invoke the pact. No, you actually do. It's in the paper.
Yeah, no.
Thank you. And Matt, you have a perpetual standing offer.
Hey, that's 3 questions now,
Yeah.
bro.
No, it's not a question.
We gotta. No, I'm kidding.
You have a perpetual standing offer anytime I'm at a panel. If you want to use Frostmourne to like as a prop or to kill Brian Foster, you're welcome to ask.
I appreciate the offer. However, I have played Frozen Throne, and I know better. I've seen what that
Frostmourne
sort
is
of...
always waiting.
No, man, I spent way too long getting Shadowmourne, okay?
Yeah.
I'm having flashbacks, terrible
hey, dude.
flashbacks.
Hey, I forgot your name, but for sassing me, come get a thanks Keyleth pin.
Brian rewards sass.
Damn it, Brian.
Now you know.
Thank you for encouraging Sass.
You're welcome.
Hey guys,
Hey, what's your name?
so my name's Ryan. I
Hey,
didn't
Ryan.
say it yesterday, but I'm saying it today.
Yeah.
So first off, Spice.
You gotta eat the mic, man. We can barely. Sorry, the
All right.
speaker's not
There
very
we
loud.
go.
Sorry, there you go. That's
Yes.
perfect. That's perfect.
Cool. All right. First off, Spice.
Spice. Spice.
For Matt, what is your favorite NPC to play as? And for the rest of you, what is your favorite NPC to interact with?
Oh, man. I mean, I have a few answers here, because it's hard to put one in there. I think Allura, for me, is the most self-insertion character I have in the campaign. So that to me is the most true to myself. Gilmore is just such a delightful character. I love playing as him, interacting as him. Raishan is such a delicious villain to play as the kind of, yeah, I'm not going to say much more than that. Raishan was an amazing villain to play. So those are my answers.
All right.
I mean, selfishly, I think we're gonna pick characters that we interact with more.
Well, obviously, yeah.
I mean, Suntree, man.
Sunshine's pretty good.
Hey, Suntree.
Thanks, Kiki.
If I'm feeling awake and alert, which is not every game, sometimes I am tired. Victor is always fun, but I've got to be prepared. Like, I don't want to be tired in dealing with that because it's just going to make my head hurt. So.
Yeah.
Your head hurt.
Yeah. Right. That's a
Good
great
question.
All right.
Yeah.
Taliesin, thank you. That's my choice too.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Learn from my mistakes.
Yes, what? No. Oh.
Hey, what's your name?
My name is Justin. How are
Hey,
you?
Justin. Great.
Doing well, Justin. How about
I had
yourself?
a quick question for Matt. I was wondering if you could tell us what your most memorable moment as a player of D&D would be.
Oh, man. That's a great question. I'd have to say I was playing a Dwarven fighter, my first time playing a combat class, because I was always casters. named Kraden Grimthorn, who I named the Brawlers League dwarf, who I ended up representing you guys after. He was kind of I kind of used that character in this one. But he was just playing a real angry, tough little son of a bitch. And at one point we were climbing down this big ravine where this magical tower was at the bottom that was kind of in the recess to stay hidden. And there was somebody in there we had to talk to. But so we were all climbing down this hundreds and hundreds of feet with our climbing gear. And at that moment, we started being assaulted by wyverns that had nested into the side of this hill. And as they start running out and swiping down and attacking, the rest of the party is like, oh my God, we gotta go. And they're all climbing down quickly and trying to get down as fast as they can. And I was like, no. I think one of these can hold my weight. I'm gonna wait till one of them comes for me. And the DM's like, okay. You realize you're still 600 feet up from the bottom of the ravine. I'm like, oh, I know. And so I'm just holding my action with my hand on the rope. And when wyvern swipes in to strike, I take the hits and I grapple him. It's all right, roll for it. And I grab on and I manage to get up onto the wyvern and onto its back and clutch it by the back of the neck and start trying to coast it into the side of the ravine to try and kind of control it and knock it a little dizzy. And proceed to roll really, really well, then really poorly, then really well. And in the process, both of us get bludgeoned by the side of the ravine within an inch of our life. Eventually getting it down to the bottom before the rest of the party. I actually swoop past them and they're all screaming like, what are you doing? And I'm like, doing what a dwarf does, win! And slam it into the bottom of the ring. We both go tumbling over. I have like 3 hit points left. It's on the ground, kind of just trying to get itself back up. And I walk up and pull out my axe. I'm like, I win. Just took its head off as a trophy, wore it on my belt for a while. It got really stinky. I didn't care. I wanted people to see what I did. And that was Grimthorn.
Thank you very much.
That's the coolest story I've ever heard in my entire life. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Damien,
Hey, Damien.
or as I introduced myself to you guys yesterday, the even more shitty Brian Wayne Foster.
That's right. All right, you're getting a free Denise pin when you're done, so come up and grab it after that.
This is my question for Matt. From one DM to another, one of my favorite characters you've ever introduced was Kynan.
Mm-hmm.
How do you create such realistic and good NPCs in your campaign?
I mean, it's part of what helps with the training of an actor is part of really what we do is as actors is the study of human beings, is the study of the human condition, the complexities of a person. And so coming to it from that standpoint, when you create an NPC, you think, okay, what abilities they have, what classes they are, what their background is, what faction they work for, are they good, are they bad, what loot do they have? That's the core skeleton. But then you consider, what are their passions, what are their goals, what is it they're ultimately trying to achieve, and how far are they willing to go to achieve that? Then you consider what are their deepest fears, what are the things that drive them to desperation, what are the things that drive them to flee, what are the things that drive them to discard allies. And then you begin to break down subtleties of their history and their personality. And really one of the keys you come to it is even villains have a reason to how they got there. And really good villains are those that you can understand why they became villains. It doesn't mean you have to necessarily feel bad for them per se, but there is kind of a through line of going, oh, okay, I understand why this individual became who they are. And many villains don't see themselves as villains. They see themselves as doing what's necessary for the greater good and not realize the ramifications of their actions. So honestly, studying characters, studying people, and a lot of the basics of creating characters from a performer standpoint can work really well into the creation of characters for your game that'll feel more breathing and living and intricate, I think.
Yeah.
My opinion.
That's a great answer.
Good question.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Go ahead. What's your name?
My name's Nick.
Damien.
Hi, Nick.
Damien, get over here.
I was going to say.
So my question's for kind of all of you. A little bit of context. My character's just finished a major quest, and it ended with them at a trial.
To talk a little closer to the mic, sir.
Hello?
There we go.
So my players just finished a big quest where they were accused of a crime, and they were trying to prove their innocence. Well, they figured that out, and they accused the right person. And at the end of it, she was supposed to freak out and scream at the party and go nuts as she was about to be put to death. But when the moment came, I flopped. I got too nervous to like scream at my players and get in character. My question to you guys is, as performers and especially as voice actors, how do you guys get into a character and just scream at them and kind of forget your nervousness or your stage fright, especially as voice actors? Because I mean, when you were Symphior, you were screaming your head off. I don't know how I could have done that. How did you guys get over that?
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Practice.
You kind of lose yourself, I think, a little bit. Is my mic on?
Can we get the? Is there someone at the sound booth? Denise, is there someone back there?
Denise.
Can we get our microphones in the wedges, and then also the microphone that the people are asking the questions on isn't really coming out of here very loud, so it's a little.
Oh yeah, that would be.
If we can just get all those up all the way, I think, because whenever Marisha and Taliesin are talking, all I hear is.
Yeah, that would.
Oh,
that's.
Yeah, I'm just going to project really loud. Yeah, you kind of, I think, lose yourself in it a little bit.
Well, one of the things that acting training does, one of the first things they do is they sit down and go like, all right, we're going to work very, very hard on removing all of your shame, because you're not going to be able to do your job if you have any of that.
Whoa! Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please speak up when you ask the questions. You're out in front of the speakers. We have to pick it up to send it back to the stage. If you talk soft, they can't hear you. And I am going to roll your vocal mics into the monitors.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
But yeah, it's removing that shame is not easy. And is a long and arduous process that I have. Oh, hello. Yes, that's lovely.
There we go.
And it's. I wish I had like a really good cheat for it. Other than like I started by like performing and getting weird in the car. That's a great place to be weird, because no one can see you. And then sometimes you notice people see you, and then you get okay with that, of just singing just sing something. Kesha's good. I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, no. There's some good stuff to sing to feel really ridiculous.
You now all have the image of Taliesin singing Kesha to himself in his car.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not a bad point though. Like karaoke, going out and dancing in public. That's all little things that can kind of help you get more comfortable with like making you're gonna look ridiculous every once in a while, and we all will, and just embrace that.
And weirdly, other people's reactions to you being ridiculous will slowly make you feel better, because it's never going to be the reaction you're kind of afraid of. It's like this. It's actually strangely positive to be like, I don't care, woo, and like.
Because think about all
people
the
don't go. They go.
Yeah, and in the same way that you're saying, I wish I could let go like we do, other people will see you and go, I wish I could let go like you do. It's kind of...
It's a good feedback.
Yeah, it's a good feedback loop, and that just gets you a little more comfortable with the idea that sometimes that fear you have of people judging you, one, doesn't matter. Two, isn't what you think it is. And three, it's a very freeing experience to just express yourself for the pure joy of what you want to express.
But it takes a while to beat that out of your system, though.
Yeah.
It's tough.
And we've also been playing these characters for 5 years now. Like, we know them inside and out. Like, we can drop into them so easily, which is why Taliesin can improv insane monologues, or like why I can scream at Raishan and kind of like try and just plant myself in Keela's head. But it definitely takes time and reckless abandon.
Yeah, and at the game table, remind yourself that the players that are there for you are there for you. They're supportive of you, and they're engaging in the same way you are. So if you're afraid about getting that intense about it, just remind yourself that they will be blown away when you do manage to cross that threshold. And two, they're there to support you and want to see you get into it as much as you want to as well. So you have to remind yourself as best you can that they're not going to judge you for it by any means. They're there cheering you on.
And if they do, shame on them and find another game group.
Shame.
Thank you, guys.
Shame. Thank you.
That's mom advice.
Hey, what's your name?
Not real players.
Hey, is it okay if I take the mic out?
Yeah,
As
yeah,
long
that's
as,
fine.
as long as you put it back.
Yeah, you should put it
It's
back.
not moving, so I'm just gonna crouch.
Okay.
And I'm sorry because my friends are making me be this guy, but can you say it's high noon?
Oh, that is.
I'm sorry.
Do you have $10,000? I don't know.
If I say yes, will you still do it?
Oh, you know what time it is.
Okay, thank you.
It's high noon.
There you go.
I think I just won money on that one. That's good.
Okay, so my
It's actually
actual
125.
It's
26. I see my phone. Yeah, it's 126.
So my actual question is, recently I got done doing a campaign with one of my friends, and I was playing as a voidling who, whoever he consumes, he takes on part of their attributes. When it comes to characters like that, where they adapt to whoever they kill or consume, what type of hindrances or like recoils or feedbacks do you suggest I implement so he's not just like Gilgamesh from Fate's Stay? Oh shit, let's just throw infinite weapons, yay!
Well, I mean, things that you can consider for balance are, if you're gaining attributes of whatever you're eating, does it replace the attributes that you've previously devoured? So the adaptation could be you only consume and take on the attributes of what you've currently taken in. That's a balance. So it's more of an adaptation that switches as opposed to just a constant building effect. Or they could be temporary. Whatever you consume, it affects your attributes for a short period of time and then eventually fades away. So you could bulk up and get pretty powerful for a short time, but you can say that if you consume more than 3 or 4 entities within a short period of time, it can be damaging or dangerous to your health.
Maybe you also get their lowest attribute as well. Like
Yeah.
you get like a, no matter what forever bonus you get pulled down as well.
Right. So considering those are possibilities, so as opposed to just being a character that, oh, I hope you guys enjoy your long swords. I'm just going to eat the world and become a god.
Because my character in the beginning, everybody just kind of escapes from prison, kind of, sort of.
Okay.
And so he accidentally consumed the heart of a dragon god, and that's the only attribute that kind of stayed with him the entire time. So is that kind of fair, or am I kind of being goddish?
I mean, it's up to you working with the GM on what is fair and what isn't. And just because you devour the heart of a dragon god doesn't mean you now have the powers of a dragon god. It means you have the potential to eventually unlock the powers of a dragon god. So your journey could be learning slowly over time how to unlock those abilities. And so
cool.
you grow with the rest of the party.
Very insufferable for a while. I can imagine that'd be fun.
So yeah, there are ways to balance it, but the GM has to work with you on that and make sure that it's in line with, so it doesn't feel unfair for the rest of the players, but you still get to play through those narrative elements in a way that's fun for you and your character to progress.
All right, thank you. Oh, yeah, I didn't get to say my name. My name's Elijah.
Thank you, man.
All righty. Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
Hey, my name is Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
My question is partially twofold. For Matt, the character Tyrion Darrington,
Yes.
how far in advance did you know that he was going to pop up? And for everyone else, how long did it take you to get accustomed to him instead of the person that he kind of replaced? I don't want to give spoilers for somebody who hasn't seen it yet.
Well, Sam and I discussed Tyrion for about 3 weeks, about 2-3 weeks in advance. Since the end of the Conclave arc and the scenarios that his character had gone through, that it kind of led him to feel it might be necessary, depending on how the conversation goes with the rest of the party, of him to either stay or leave. We had made this character as a backup just in case he decided to leave. And so we had met and we had designed, he told me the theory behind the character Tyrion and what he wanted him to be, and I told him, well, that kind of fits in with these classes, and the one he liked the best was the Artificer. He's like, oh, that sounds exactly what we're trying to do. And so he's like, I want to be a character that has very little real-life experience but has enough money to make himself powerful. So he became the trust fund baby of D&D characters, where without, from a mechanical standpoint, Tyrion, without any of his equipment, is like level 2. But put all of his equipment on and he's level 14, 15, was kind of our thought process behind it. And so he made the character and had it in the wings, and then based on whatever happened that episode, it seemed that Sam decided to leave, and as such, that very same episode we brought Tyrion in, which I think was a little sooner than Sam was anticipating.
Oh, he was not prepared. He was like, okay, this is apparently happening.
Well, you went up to him during the break and you were like, all right, Terry, you're up. And he was like, what? No, the next week. And you're like, now.
It was you guys went there immediately, and it was a good button for the episode. So
He was looking at his papers. He was looking at his half-filled-out papers like, what do I do?
And he did great.
He did great.
It took about 3 episodes to get really used to. I feel like three episodes in, I was like, I thought it was good for us because we've been kind of worried about like what a lot of our players. I think we're the only us and Liam are the only ones who've actually played any other character.
Right.
And so I think there's been a little bit of nervousness about what's going to happen when that happens, and I feel a lot better.
Yeah. People embraced it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first like 2-3 games, we were rejecting him like a new one.
You are not my father. Yeah. You don't get to tell me what to do.
Good question.
Great question. Thanks, Joe. Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Laura.
Hey, Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura. Before I ask my question, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you up there, except for Brian.
It's everything I could have hoped for and more.
You guys I work as a night shift security guard, and you guys fill my nights because I'm way behind on.
Oh, we are there for you. Yeah.
I am way behind on Critical Role, but I'm working on it. I have been sitting at the edge of my seat waiting for Grog to beat that half-orc and crying my eyes out during the Briarwood arcs and getting super excited with Keyleth going through the fire. It was just so amazing. And I just wanted to thank you so much for that because it makes my life better.
Thank you for coming along with us.
Thank you, yeah. Sticking around for
That's awesome.
100 episodes.
And for my question, it's kind of for all of you, but it's a two-sided question.
Okay.
Because I have been DMing my own campaign, and I feel like it's kind of stagnating a little bit because I've gotten a little frustrated with my characters, with my players. Matt, what do you do when everybody just kind of either gets wonderful rolls and is just blowing through everything or makes all the right turns over and over again, even when you want them to go to the wrong way because you want to torture them? And Taliesin and Marissa, how do you guys know when you're doing that to Matt?
To answer your question, what happens if there is no right way? What happens if every path is the really wrong, horrible, torturing way?
Kobayashi that stuff. Blow
Exactly.
It up.
Then your Dragonborn jumps down a pool that's 600 feet and drowns on the way back up. That's what happens.
Exactly. And let that be a lesson to him. Well, it's a delicate balance being a GM or a DM. It's creating challenge without feeling like it's unfair. And not challenging them all the time, because you want to have the players also have time where they feel like they're having a good time, where they're kicking ass and enjoying the battle, as opposed to always being under the threat of constant bludgeoning death. You have to find that balance.
Well, like Taliesin just said about consequence versus punishment too.
Yeah.
Right? Like tell these people that, because we were in a room with different people.
Oh yeah, we were in a press room, and it's a good DM, in my opinion, knows the difference between consequence and punishment. You don't punish your players for making the wrong decision. You don't punish them for going off the rails, or you don't punish them for staying on the rails. You create consequence. And like there was a guy a second ago who was talking about that all of his players got falsely accused of a crime, and then they found the innocent person, or they found the real guilty person and dealt with it. And he was talking about that. What if like most of the world still doesn't know they found the right person and just all assumes that they're guilty and still got off and just treats them like dirt for months. I mean, that would be amazing. And now they're just ostracized, and everybody hates them.
What was I say? What if they get to the guilty person? The guilty person kills themselves, and they're found with the dead body of the guilty party with no way of proving
And
innocence.
no way of proving anything.
And they have another body on their hands. They now have to flee the town.
You thought about this.
Make life be unfair. Like, just be like, don't be mean, but like you can stack the odds against them, and like I love no right answer. Kobayashi that, like, terrible situations where something awful is going to happen no matter what.
And remember, if they're always rolling well and they're always just blowing through every encounter, throw a couple Tarasques at them.
Yeah.
What are you two talking about?
Yeah. It's called teaching humility.
Wow. Wow. All right, Laura, come up here because you got the "How do you want to do this" pin signed by.
Issues going on.
You look awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. What's your name, son?
My name's Rob.
Rob, hello.
Hey, Matt, thank you so
what?
much
Who?
for bringing all of your friends here.
Drum?
Glad you came last year. Glad you brought more of the crew. And Brian, I don't know what problem Laura had with you. I'm so glad that you and your hair are here and put on your beard today.
Thank you.
That's great.
Yes, it's Velcroed on. Thank you. That's really sweet.
You pull it off.
Thanks.
Every night before you go to sleep.
They're learning. I'm so proud. They're learning.
Let me see what this guy gets. Hold on, let me get my wallet out. All right, you'll get a free Denise pin too after.
My question is to Golden Gods and Life Needs Things to Live. I know you guys started this game back in Pathfinder and transitioned to 5th edition, where it rewards you for coming up with every little thing about your character, personality traits, flaws, bonds, ideals, and such. But over the course of the game, you tend to discover more things about your character than were there in the beginning. So what is something that, while playing under Matt, has surprised you about the character that you created?
That's a cool question.
That's a fantastic question.
Well, and especially kind of like we were saying, we've been playing these characters for so long. They're having the life of people, you know, and I know I've probably changed a lot in 5 years. And these people are put in very extreme circumstances. So I think you just have to be open to that. You know, we all kind of have our core values that we stick to, and then you have to let the world still affect you.
Your reality with Care, I remember, changed your whole plotting quite a bit.
Yeah.
You were getting kind of aggro.
I was getting because there was a time where, because when I started Keyleth, she was naive and juvenile and just thought that the whole world was like a magical Disney forest filled with animals and things that loved me. And then realized that that's not the case at all. And there for a while, she was getting very angry because that was just the way the world was beating down upon us for a while. Got angry at the fact that why did no one tell her about this? And it wasn't until Care kind of stepped in as that substitute father figure to kind of, and at the time, Vox Machina, you guys were being total dicks.
We were being
to
total
Keyleth.
dicks to Keyleth.
You were like, deal with it, Druid. And he was like the first, you were.
Oh no, I remember.
And he was kind of the first one who, because that was when she was having panics about like, we're not heroes. Look at the trail of destruction we've left behind us. And he was kind of the first one to relate to me to Keyleth on that level. So there were several things. There was dealing with the fact that I felt like my party wasn't really supporting Keyleth in the time, like that my people who were supposed to be my closest friends. And then this guy who was just a guest who came in for an episode who totally changed everything. Because I was getting really heavy into almost dropping points of Barbarian into Keyleth and having her just be like,
talk about it.
Screw it. I'm done. I'm done with all of this. Why do we need to do anything? And just get angry. But then he kind of put her back on that track, which was good.
I call your current track in my head, it's the be the Lisa Frank you want to see in the world. Come on, guys. Woo!
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Let's make a more rainbow tomorrow.
Hey, Sentry. One of my core principles. I mean, like I like that D&D has those little the 5th edition boxes, but I always kind of see that as either. Then there's nothing wrong with training wheels. We all need them. As a good way of like helping.
There's nothing wrong with training.
There's nothing wrong with training wheels. Sometimes if you haven't been acting for 30 years, it's nice to have a box that teaches you some basics. Or if you're playing a one-shot, it's a good way of remembering who you are and what you're doing, which is important for anybody. But I've never filled those boxes out for Percy at all. I don't think any of us filled any of those boxes
But
out.
by the time we'd gotten over to the 5th edition transition, you knew the characters so well and what those were. You didn't need
And
to
unless
write
I'm playing
them
a
down
one-shot, I never fill those out anyway.
One of the best times I've seen those boxes utilized, though, those background boxes, was with Dan Casey on the one-shot that you did. I think it was like episode 12. I think it's still out there. And we watched Dan Casey roll, because they're all numbered to where you can roll a D8, so where if you're really confused and you don't know, you can just roll a D8 and be like, 4, okay, I'm paranoid of water. And and so he just rolled, found the things, and then went and came up with a backstory, and that was how we got Salty Pete, who was like the dual-wielding pirate sellsword and it was amazing.
It's a great episode.
And it was a great character with a background that he didn't get so stuck and caught on what it was going to be that it didn't allow him to still have fun.
No, that was the first episode with the Snuggle Lord, right?
Yes, it was.
Snuggle Lord.
Yeah, when we were kind of walking people through.
Yeah. But yeah, Percy was supposed to never be happy. That was one of his core character traits, is somebody who will never be happy with himself or the world around him, and will just always be, just on a core level, irritated at himself and others. Mostly himself. And not anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, what happens if he just lets that go finally? And it's like, fine, forget it. I deserve a little happiness, and I'm enjoying. He's getting dangerous. I'm enjoying it. Something's gonna snap terribly. I'm really excited.
Happy Percy is a bad
Percy
idea.
Is a bad idea.
It's true.
great.
Your sorrow kind of contained you.
All it took was a bad relationship, like a really, really inappropriate relationship to ruin everything. I'm so excited.
That's usually how it works, though, in real life.
Oh,
so,
no,
yeah.
it really is. I mean, like, it's such a flashback to, like, 22, 23. It's great.
Thank you.
That's a great
Y'all
question.
For being here. We love y'all.
No, thank you for having us.
Come collect your pin, please.
Hello again.
Hello. My name's Lee.
Hi, Lee.
Last night I told you guys about my drow sorcerer who is currently a potted plant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Speak of plants. Yeah.
So that's fine. I have a question for Matt.
Yes.
How long have you sat on the major events for Vox Machina, like the Briarwoods, the Chroma Conclave, whatever we're gonna get with the Orb of Doom? How long have you been just sitting on these and waiting?
The Briarwoods I've been sitting on since Percy gave me his character backstory. The minute you turned that page and I read it, I was like, oh, this is going to be so sweet when we get to it. It's going to be so good. The Conclave I've been sitting on for about 2 years before I dropped on that, because when I began to develop them, my main reason for doing the Conclave was I'd been DMing for so many years and I just didn't use dragons. This game's called Dungeons and Dragons, and I never got around to really using big ancient dragons. I've always wanted to do that.
Why? Because you never played long enough for the
because some campaigns ended before I could get to that power level.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to bring like, oh, you're fighting a baby dragon. Ooh. You know, like I wanted big, scary, classic dragons. But other campaigns just didn't go long enough, or thematically, dragons didn't fit for it. You know, the villains or the world where they were, it would have felt shoehorned if I put them in there. And so I was like, I'm not just gonna bring a dragon, I'm gonna bring all of them in. And bring one of each chromatic dragon. And so I thought it would be a conclave, but they would never work together. What would bring them together? Oh, it would be the dominant, the alpha, essentially, which is the Thordak character, and Raishon being the sly manipulator, and the combination of those two would make it a tenuous agreement between this conclave. And I developed this and realized well, in order for this to be impactful, it has to be at a time when they're at the height of their success, when it feels like everything is fine and good. And so I sat on it, and I set the scene. I began to plant the seeds of its eventual release, and then waited for them to complete
Just
a series
waiting
of
for
arcs.
Liam to make that speech.
That was amazing. I'm sitting here. I'm like, they're back in Iman. They had a celebration. They were all, lauded before the people of Iman, and they were having a crisis, like an existential crisis of what do we do now? What holds us together? Like, what are we? What purpose do we have? Are we still adventurers? Have we done any good in the world? Everything's, I don't know what's going on.
Because arguably, if there's no adventuring for Vox Machina, we're just a group of shitty people.
Who eat douchebags for breakfast.
You eat, yes.
That's the next T-shirt, just a group of shitty people.
We are. Adventuring has to be happening, or we just...
Oh, no, we're awful.
Awful.
We're just awful.
To be fair, so is most any adventuring party, and I think you can all attest to that.
Yeah. Terry points it out a lot, which I really enjoy. It's just like, you're terrible people.
Terrible
Yes,
people.
we are! Woo!
But yeah, so like, it takes a lot of patience to sit on a story that long. But I remember in that episode when Liam said that, when he's like, oh, what are we gonna do? What's next? I feel like there's no purpose. I'm just like, oh man.
Oh, just you wait, buddy.
Yeah, give me like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was amazing.
Great question.
And the sphere thing is coming to fruition slowly now, and I've been sitting on that since I was designing the Briarwood arc.
Long time.
So that one I've probably been sitting on the longest.
I was about to say, maybe the sphere is not going to come up until next campaign, for all we know. I have no idea.
We'll see where it comes out.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Such a tease. Hello.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name's Kristen.
Hi, Kristen.
Hello.
Bend it to your will. There you go.
Hi.
You look awesome, by the way.
You look great.
Thank you. Okay, the question is technically for all of y'all. If you could choose another class besides the one that your character is, what would it have done, and how do you think it would have affected their progression?
Oh, interesting. Like same characters, different class?
Yeah.
Player.
Yeah.
That's my class. Let's switch to player.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think maybe if Percy had never become an engineer and just stayed, I would have loved to have just stayed in fighter class, but maybe fighter class and just become like a really poncy fencer, which would have been just like in the Errol Flynn's kind of style. Ha-ha! Just can't build anything. I don't know. Yeah, because he thinks magic's weird.
Yeah.
The rules are all mishmash.
I don't know. Like I said, I was kind of mentioning earlier if I would have dropped points of Barbarian into Keyleth and gone a half and half route, and then just kind of gone more of like a melee brawler, because you could I could rage and then go into my B-shaping forms and then get all the bonus that Grog gets when he rages. So it would be kind of nasty and awesome, but it would have just caused her, like, she would have gone off the rails. Yeah. And I think it would have caused a lot of her, I don't think it would have been attractive on her. It would be Keyleth as a nihilist. And I don't know.
You're an angry 9-year-old, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She would have just been like, what's it all matter? Nah.
Somewhere in the darkest timeline.
Somewhere in the darkest timeline. Yeah.
Nihilist on you.
Thank you.
Y'all. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi.
Hi, Chun-Li.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so cute.
Don't make me blush, come on.
Okay, my question is for Brian, but it could also be answered for all you guys too.
Only for Brian.
Are you in law enforcement?
This is kind of spoilers. It's from last night, Thursday's episode. When Grog pulled out the deck of many things, what was your reactions? Since we clearly saw Matt, Marisha, and Taliesin's reactions on Twitch.
I've known Travis for almost 10 years, and I know him so well, and we'll hang out not doing anything related to Critical Role, and the deck comes up, I would say, every 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'll be talking to Travis about football or a movie or something, and then you'll just start to see this drifting happen. And then sometimes if Laura's there, she'll say, are you thinking about the deck? Are you doing the... He's obsessed with this deck thing, and the Battle Royale is one thing. I am really interested to see what happens in the real game.
Yeah, it's not that we're nervous about Grog having the deck of many things. It's that we're nervous about Travis having the deck.
That's exactly right. That's what terrifies me. If you tell Travis there is a poisonous snake inside this thing of Red Bull, he will bite it in half, drink all of the Red Bull, and then go, not touch the snake, and go like, well, if I don't get points, it's a 50-50. Like, I could win, I could lose. He always plays the odds, and that's why the deck is he's obsessed with it, because he goes like, it could either go perfectly, something could be great, we could have a great weapon or something come out, or everybody dies. And if everyone dies right in the middle of Keylethal, we're dead. Because of the stupid deck. I just can't wait to see what happens. I hope it's a TPK.
I will say, when I when I rolled the deck, 'cause I was like, I'm never putting this in a campaign. It ruins the narrative. And then like I rolled it on a random treasure table when they defeated Thordak, and I was like, well, it's the smaller version of the deck, so it doesn't have like the super world-ending cards. It's still pretty awful. And usually it's Laura or Percy or somebody that investigates the treasure hoard first. So at least I know a player with some, a character with some intelligence is going to find it.
No.
Someone will be responsible with it.
Yeah, that went well.
And when he rushed there first and rolled it so high, I was like, well, okay. Here we go.
I'll tell you a funny behind-the-scenes story that night with the deck. All of us near the control center where all the smart people sit. They let me sit by them.
We use that term
when
loosely.
When the deck thing happened, one of the producers, Eddie, who wears headphones and is deep into the computer, but he knows everything there is to know about D&D. A lot of us didn't know what the deck was. A lot of us backstage, why is everyone freaking out? Because Liam was going... And then everyone else was just kind of whatever, and so I was just sitting there, and then they're like, oh, is there a deck, is there whatever, and then everybody's talking about it looks like it's actually going to come in the game. Eddie threw his headphones off and was like...
I can see that so
And so
clearly in my head.
I Googled so fast, and then they have the list of what each of, and I was like, okay, oh my God. And then my first thought was, Travis.
Well, and I think the deck in the Battle Royale was my fault, because every game I distribute, we get a lot of mail. We get a lot of mail. It's mostly in my room. I live in it now. There's more mail in my room than furniture. It's one of the reasons I don't live stream very often
He's like
anymore.
Scrooge McDuck,
like
except with envelopes.
Yeah, except it's just paper. I'm like, paper cuts, God. But I distribute a little bit of it every week, and that deck that he had that was what I had given him. I was like, here, you're gonna dig this. And I gave him the deck with the letter, and I think it might not have been in his consciousness if I hadn't handed him a physical deck.
Well, it's fine. It's fine because his use of the deck in the Battle Royale was a safe place to use it and to learn that there were a lot of consequences. Or not. He rolled
no
consequences at all. Consequences, except that you're awesome.
You sound like a begrudging father trying his best to give a sex ed talk. It was a safe place.
So you
learn the consequences.
You lock the kid in his room with a crate of scotch and open it an hour later, and the scotch is gone, and he's just like, I feel great. And you're like, that did not work.
Yeah.
Well, and the other crazy thing is, because he was like, I pulled 5 cards. And I was like, okay. What? And then Matt and I were looking at the rules. And in the book, they don't state that there's a limit to how many cards you can draw in a turn. So now I have this nightmarish image in my head of Grog just doing like a card flourish. There's like 52 card pickup of the deck of mini things, just like.
Xander just goes.
Yes.
Gone.
If you can't tell, we talk about this a lot.
Yep.
This is a subject of conversation. I feel bad. We've actually held the line now. Sorry.
That was a great question.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for addressing it to me and making me feel like I have a purpose in this world.
But you're awesome.
I'm just kidding. I know.
Don't encourage him.
Look at this beard.
I meant to wake up and shave it this morning. I feel really bad.
You tried, but I had the deadbolt locked. Go ahead.
I'm a great shaver.
Hello.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Alyssa.
Hey, Alyssa.
Hi. So I'm a first-time GM for a Pathfinder game.
Awesome.
Which, I've noticed how hard that was when I first started. It's my very first game to GM. But I'm also taking improv classes to get better at GMing. So I have a question for all you guys as professional actors. There's a long-form improv format created by Mark Meir. It's like a long-form improvised D&D format. Have you guys been interested in actually doing something similar, like putting Dungeons and Dragons on a stage rather than through a stream?
It's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Not on a stream per se, but years ago, there's a long-running show in Los Angeles called Dungeon Master. Just that, still going. And a lot of our friends ran it, and so a few of us would be guest on it occasionally.
I guessed it a couple times on Dungeon Master, and then there was a sci-fi spin-off like Cyber that we did for several years
called Adventure. That the three of us were all cast members of. That was just that, where we'd all every week was a different storyline, a continuation of last week's storyline, and the cast played different NPCs with costumes and set pieces, and then 5 people from the audience would be pulled up as
and
the
they would be
characters.
in costume with character sheets that they'd filled out, and they would
Yeah.
play through the game, then we would be the NPCs.
Yeah. And we would generally get them killed or something horrible.
The characters, not the people.
The characters, yeah.
None of this is legally binding. You heard nothing.
No one was harmed during the making of Adventure.
Erase the tape.
But it was a pretty solid. We did. I mean, there was some great stuff. Like there was You in the Evil Disney World was one of my favorite. Where she played a psychotic, murderous Tinkerbell with a baby in a bag that she would beat on the ground to get people's attention. It was amazing. It was one of the best things I've ever seen in my. It was so hard to keep my shit together with you with the shank and the baby in a bag and
out
the
of
makeup
context.
smeared.
This sounds awful.
Everybody smile. Oh, it was so good.
I'd pay $5 extra a month to watch that show.
It was an amazing show.
Yeah. It was
So,
good.
yeah.
It was good fun.
So, yeah,
I don't know, maybe
it was a lot of fun stuff.
Dungeon Master's still running.
Yeah, Dungeon Master's still running. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're ever in LA, you can check out
check out Dungeon
They put stuff on YouTube every now and then too. Yeah.
Very cool, very cool. Thank you guys.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think this is our last question. Well, I don't know, because normally there's people that hold up a sign and then they give you an angry look.
They haven't done that yet.
They haven't done that yet. Maybe
That's
we'll
not
just
a sign,
keep going.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. We'll try and be fast.
But now this guy's
Okay, all right.
waving.
This guy's waving. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. We
All
tried.
right, we'll try
Go
and do
ahead.
lightning and pull through.
We'll try and get to
Go
the
ahead.
fast ones. Question.
Hi, I'm Brendan.
Hi, Brendan. What's your name?
Hey, Brendan.
What's your question?
I was going to ask what your favorite character arcs beside your own. So not the Briarwoods, the Armante, or the Chroma Enclave. And for Brian, your favorite character arc.
Favorite character arc?
Fireplane. Fireplane for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the Raven Queen stuff was cool. That was cool. With Vax.
I was actually going to say that because he was planning to go Paladin of Sarenrae.
Yeah.
And through just a chance resurrection ritual, the death of his sister, and a spontaneous pledge he made as that process led his path entirely different to instead pursue the path of the Raven Queen. And I love those are the reasons I love D&D. Like, you can't plan for that. A couple of die rolls and spontaneous character choices and entire character's planned destiny that you thought they had goes in another direction, and now you're following that element. And so, yeah, I thought that was a really cool switch.
The end of Scanlan's arc before he left, I think, It made Sam and I closer as friends because of my past. We got to have a lot of conversations about something that he didn't really have any experience in because he's a green baby with no, he doesn't live on the edge like me. But yeah, I would say that arc really just was powerful, and that speech he made at the end, I still think about that as character work and as a piece of acting that was insane in my opinion.
Definitely.
We were not prepared.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, one more.
One more. Make it good. Make it good.
All right. This is somewhat for Matt and also for Marisha and Taliesin.
Okay.
Matt, as a DM whose characters went 180 degrees, I had to create a combat encounter map off the top of my head. What is your favorite DM recovery moment of them just going like, oh shit, I had not planned for this. All right, what can I do? And for you guys, what is your favorite moment of you knowing you kind of screwed up plans somewhat and just watching him kind of stumble?
We can't
never see
tell.
him stumble.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't flinch.
Yeah,
like
we don't.
he's like that guy who can hold his hand over a candle and like maintain eye contact.
Yeah, we never see him stumble. We never know if we're doing something off the rails.
It didn't
we're
even
just going
occur to
with
me
shit.
that pub crawl was going to be out of his like that he was going to have to pull that like out of nowhere until
Yeah.
like an hour and a half into it. And I'm like,
Oh God! I'm still pretty partial to Vex and Keyleth and Laura and Marisha being like, screw you guys when you guys didn't want us to go off in the Underdark.
Oh,
in
that
the
was
very
great, on the
beginning.
carpet.
And then we went and found Clarota, which I don't think we were supposed to find him that soon or ever potentially. And finding Clarota, that was cool.
Yeah, that was fun. That was definitely one of the big okay, well, this is an NPC that they probably weren't going to meet, or if they were going to meet, it was going to be much later, and it's probably just going to be a battle, but they convinced to join them. They now have an actual arcane magic using Mind Flayer in their party. Sure. And I thought about this recently. I forgot about it. But when they were in the Moonbrush in the Feywild, I was not expecting you guys to side with the werewolves. And you guys came in and fought and slaughtered the pixies. That was fully improvised. That was fully like, okay, let's do this. You guys just gonna kill a bunch of pixies against the trees.
They were mean pixies.
They're all mean.
Oh yeah, pixies are generally not like you hear pixies like, oh, that's so cute. They're beautiful. They're also kind of dicks.
Yeah.
Most things that are Fey are. They're selfish little entities that expect things to work however they want.
And Vox Machina is also a selfish entity that gets very defensive and takes things personally.
When an unstoppable force meets an unmovable wall.
Right.
But yes, those are a few examples there, definitely.
Okay,
good question.
Okay,
Well,
I think.
I just want to give you this.
Okay.
Okay.
Hand it to Brian, because
Okay.
Hand it to Brian.
it's always funnier.
Yeah.
Guys,
okay. Yeah, you go.
We've got a. Are we gonna?
We have a signing.
This is a subpoena. This is a subpoena.
We have a signing.
Yeah, we have a signing. So bring everything to the signing, or
from 2:30 to
or give it
4:30.
give it to Ginny.
And we'll talk during the
Give
signing.
it to
too.
Ginny
We love talking.
if you're not coming to the signing. There she
That's
is.
Ginny.
There's Ginny.
There's Ginny.
If you see her, she'll know.
She knows where we are at all times.
But yeah, we have to run off. We're getting.
Marisha, before you go, please cast Regenerate on Tyriok. Give him his arm back, please.
Oh, he's fine.
He's fine.
Come on, he's right there.
He's fine.
He's doing great. He's doing great.
It gives him character.
He wears it well.
Yeah.
It wasn't his drawing arm.
Yeah.
If anything, I think it makes his maps a little better. He's trying harder. Oh God,
Yes,
I'm so
he's-
mean. Yeah, no. Yeah, poor him. I feel bad about that arm.
I do feel a little bad. I should probably fix that.
Yeah. I could build him like something.
You give him a mechanical arm.
Make him a robot arm.
Make him a robot.
There you go.
That's
Make him
way
a robot
cooler
arm.
than a real arm.
This is your other legacy: firearms and prosthetics. That's what Percy has done in Exandria.
I've made really nice roads.
It's true.
The roads in Whitestone
And
are
that
great
too,
now.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't believe you made heated roads.
Yeah.
Well, they're starting to. It's going to take a while.
It's going to take a while. We've already got
love it.
several of the main throwaways. It's great.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you guys for
We'll
coming.
see you
Thank you
at
for
the
waiting.
signing.
See you at the signing. There's also a
2:30 to
signing
4:30.
tomorrow. We're also signing tomorrow. Check your local listings. We love you guys.
We're signing tomorrow
Thank you,
at
guys.
12:30 to 2:15.
12:30 to 2:15.
You're awesome.
So if you don't see us now, we'll see you then. All
Hey,
good.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Mwah.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Oh, God, these chairs.